assists this year. For Southern Utah and 7th-year head coach Todd Simon, it's the big man from Australia, Jason Spurgeon, at center court with Carson Tout ready to tee it up. Harrison Butler, Mason Fawcett, Tevian Jones, and Drake Allen, the Snow College transfer, round out the starting 5. And we are underway with college hoops as the holiday season is in a full swing. Parker, love to hear the holiday music playing in pregame warmups.
Yeah, absolutely. SU likes to market it as their, quote-unquote Christmas game. They come out. The coaches have previously worn some Santa Claus type of blazers, but yeah, you love to feel the holiday spirit.
And the first points of the game go to that man, Carson Tout. 8 points, almost 9 boards, and 3.5 assists per game this year. He's also the team's leading shot blocker, Parker. He really does it all for NAU.
Yeah, he's a really high-energy player as well. He likes to get after the rebounds and then obviously distribute the basketball and score it.
NAU with a stop on their opening defensive possession. That's been point of emphasis for both of these coaches. First shot attempt for Cone. He's got a bucket, and he's got a chance for a three-point play. Jalen Cone, perhaps generously listed at 5'11", Parker, makes up for his lack of height with tremendous athleticism.
He's unbelievable. I mean, like I said in pregame, you guys will see it. He just looks faster than everybody else out there. He looks more athletic than everybody else out there. Very fast, got a really quick first step, and obviously his finishing ability, his skill around the rim. He's a really well-rounded scorer.
He also comes in red hot, averaging 26.5 points per game over the last 2. 1 win and 1 loss. He's on the board, and NAU's got the first 5 points here in Cedar City. Down low goes Drake Allen, loses it, and Cone looks like he almost kicked it out of bounds accidentally, so it stays with Southern Utah. Thunderbirds offense that is top 20 in the country in college basketball, just under 90 points per game this season, and this guy Tevian Jones a big reason why. Jones finds some room and knocks down his first look of the afternoon.
Yeah, that's big time by Harrison Butler. He caught the skip pass, and then instead of settling for a 3 of his own, dribble drives, kicks out to a wide open Tevian Jones. Jones makes him pay.
Good find from Lloyd. Cone launches too strong. Southern Utah can tie or take the lead. Drake Allen, he's got great athleticism and flashes it but can't finish. NAU numbers if they push. Lloyd, nice move. Todd Simon wants to travel, does not get it from Brad Ferry. And NAU up by 4.
You can feel the pace of this game. Both teams getting after it, trying to go in transition, getting quick looks.
Mason Fawcett has it poked away by Nick Maines. He leads the team in steals this year. Is tied for the lead, I should say. NAU off to a good start. They've hit 3 of their first 4 shots. Tout with 10. Fuller, tough fade away, and he hits all nylon. How about this start for the Lumberjacks? 4 of 5, and they're up by 6. Drake Allen, the Snow College transfer, off to Butler. Physical as always inside. He collects it and draws a foul. Coach Burkar not thrilled with that call, and Harrison Butler will go to the line for 2 shots. Butler is 76% foul shooter this year. Has started all 11 games for Southern Utah, off to a 7-4 start. He made just 6 starts a year ago, playing in 34 games, and he's a guy, Parker, who with the departures of Dre Marine and John Knight has had to pick up some of the scoring slack and he is averaging a career best 12.5 points per game.
Yeah, and it's not like he's never been capable of it. He just wasn't asked to, right? He was asked to be a six-man, come in, give in good, positive minutes, and that's what he did. But now he's been thrusted into the starting role, and he's really excelled at it, having his best season statistically, still being an energy guy as well.
Fuller misses this time. D. Barnes in for the first time has got the rebound. Tevian Jones headed to the bench for Todd Simon. Allen from distance. He buries a three. Just his fourth triple of the season on 8 tries. And he pulls Southern Utah to within 1. Maines to answer. Got it. Nick Maines, the best sharpshooter on this Lumberjacks roster at 41%, has got a triple. Spurgeon loses the ball. Here comes NAU with Jalen Cone. Fuller hangs. Can't get the roll. Great hustle and even better defense initially from Drake Allen, who brings it into the front court, scoops it up. No roll. Putback is there.
That's a phenomenal play by Drake Allen there. The body awareness and athleticism to get that stop on one end and then come down, and again uses the athleticism and strength to finish that layup with an offensive rebound.
Todd Simon encouraging his team to ratchet up the intensity at the defensive end. Instead, Cone pops free, and he's got another jumper. And Jalen Cone works inside the arc more than Steph Curry, but much like the Warriors star point guard, just never stops moving off the ball.
Yeah, he's always moving. They always want to get looks for him. Nice move there by Harrison. But you saw Coach Simon really frustrated there because that it's technically an illegal screen.
To remember, together, happy holidays from Lexus.
Defense has been a big part of why Southern Utah has won 3 consecutive games, but so far they're allowing NAU to shoot 6 of 9 from the floor, Parker, as Parsifala has his first bucket of the game off the bench.
Yeah, and they haven't been particularly challenged looks. It's been a lot of open jumpers, some layups as well on backdoor cuts. Todd Simon getting frustrated with his guys, saying, hey, we just got to work harder. Just got to keep the energy up.
Carson Tout takes the redshirt freshman down low, has got a third opportunity, shovels it to Fuller, who misses. And the Lumberjacks with a couple of missed looks inside. Thunderbirds can tie or take the lead. Barnes for the lead. Book it. D. Barnes seeing a lot more playing time this year than he did last season. And he has rewarded Todd Simon with some thunderous plays and good three-point shooting as well.
Yeah, really trying to find his role on this team. Needs to come in and be a high-energy guy, played hard defense, knock down shots when it matters. Carson Tout inside going bang-bang with the freshman, Parsifala.
Southern Utah looking to answer. Drake Allen spins, can't finish again. Allen off to a slow start, just 2 of 5 from the floor. All his looks have been well inside the paint. That is Oakland Fort missing the triple, and Harrison Butler the board. Barnes has it poked away. Southern Utah, their 4th turnover of the game.
Really nice defensive play there by NAU. That's a really hard ball to poke out, but a well-timed opportunity, right? D. Barnes is looking behind him to get that pass, and then obviously wants to attack on the fast break. Really nicely done by NAU that time.
Flurry of substitutions as Jack Wistersill, Zeke Richards, and Trent McLaughlin come in for Shane Burkar, while Todd Simon sends in Cam Healy, Mason Fawcett, and Jason Spurgeon back into the game. Heyman curls off, and that baseline jumper has been there for NAU out of a few looks, and they've now knocked down 3 of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why they're shooting such a high percentage right there, is they just haven't really been challenged.
Mason Fawcett has now missed 10 consecutive threes over those last few games. Jason Spurgeon, the offensive rebound, gets to the left hand, and he'll go to the line for 2 shots. Second trip to the charity stripe coming for the Thunderbirds. And Parker, that's been a theme for them over the last couple of games. Todd Simon has been very happy with the way that they have gotten themselves free looks at the line. Last time out in the win against Cal State Fullerton, they were 24 of 35 as a team.
Yeah, and I think that stems from them not shooting the three ball as well as they would like. And Todd Simon kind of said, I want to work from the inside out then, right? Let's try and get things going towards the rim. Let's get ourselves free looks, get into rhythm at the free throw line, and then see if we can start knocking down some shots. Obviously not shooting the ball from three as well as they would have liked, and that's why we're seeing all of the driving action and trying to finish at the rim leading to free throws.
NAU 57% from the floor, but they lead by just one, and now they trail. Easy two for Tevian Jones, and he scoops up the loose change to put the Thunderbirds up by a point. Ford into the lane, good defense from Allen, tries to drop it off to Wistersill. Back out Ford, launches, got it again. NAU with their second dribble, the first one for Fort. And they leapfrog back ahead of Southern Utah here in Cedar City. In a fast-moving first half, Jones left alone. Zeke Richards, the Santa Clara transfer, with his first post touch against Spurgeon. And he gets it to go. Good looking move for Zeke Richards, who has not played since November 21st against Texas, but has got an early bucket here to give the Lumberjacks a 2-possession lead.
It's a nice big body move down there. Spurgeon is no small guy. Richards going bang bang with him. Drake Allen gets all the way to the rim, finishes that layup.
Heyman right in the face of Tevian Jones, who's got the rebound. Southern Utah looking to tie or go back ahead. Fawcett got it. Mason Fawcett snaps an 0 for 10 from distance. And that's exactly what you have to do if you're a guy of his caliber from beyond the arc, Parker. You got to shoot your way out of those slumps.
Absolutely, especially on a kick-out corner three. I mean, that's the way to get it going.
Wistersill lobs it up. Richards can't tip it home. Was influenced by Fawcett and Spurgeon inside for Southern Utah. Fawcett tries again. Fort the rebound. NAU pushing in transition a lot. Good defense from Allen. They call a foul. Todd Simon. Southern Utah and NAU know each other quite well. Met a couple times a year ago when Southern Utah was still in the Big Sky. And Parker, we've really seen from the jump that there is a level of tenacity out there that you don't always see in non-conference affairs, but this is not your typical non-conference game.
No, absolutely, and just the overall pace of the game, right? I mean, they're getting multiple steals. They know each other's plays. It's been really fun to watch so far. You have a quote-unquote non-conference game, but definitely feels like a conference battle. We're in for a treat here this afternoon.
Dang Dutt is in the Wyoming transfer. He sets up Fawcett, who is 1 of 4 now from beyond the arc. Jalen Cone waiting to check back into the game. Tout works on Fawcett. Good battle there. The Southern Utah power forward wins initially, but then comes over the top. And the offensive rebounds starting to add up, Parker, for the Lumberjacks. They've now got 4 of them here in the early going.
Yeah, and I mean, quite a few of them have been on plays like that where it's a missed layup and NAU has position to get the offensive rebound, but nonetheless, anytime a shot goes up, it's a free ball, and SU expects to come down with it. NAU doing a really good job of keeping possessions alive.
Carson Tout is now 11 of 30 at the free throw line this season, and he sinks a pair, came in at 34%. And he makes 2. Meanwhile, on the previous trip, Oakland Fort, an 83% foul shooter, went 1 of 2. Riddle me that, Batman.
Hey, percentages, man. Math, statistics, all that jazz.
Butler double team, gets it off to Cam Healy. 10 on the shot clock. Dang Dutt, open for 3. And he is 0 for 7 from beyond the arc this season. Right back to Tout, working on Fawcett. And that's a good-looking move there by the redshirt freshman from Gilbert, Arizona. Transferred in from Cal Baptist a year ago, and he has been a really good player in the front court for Coach Burkar.
Yeah, and I mean, until SU can figure out how to do the work early, if he's going to continue getting position down that low, they're going to keep feeding him.
Foul here on Xavier Fuller, putting an armbar into the Thunderbirds' leading scorer, Tevian Jones. That's the third team foul against NAU. 14 fouls on Southern Utah, so nobody really in the bonus yet. And that's a little surprising, Parker, because of what we were talking about coming out of the break. There's been a lot of energy, a lot of intensity on both sides in this game, but so far not too many fouls.
And it's kind of what I was saying. They just know each other so well, right? They're getting steals and stuff off of each other's plays because they have ran it against each other so many times. Nice up and under there by Harrison Butler.
Butler's got 4 points. That's his first field goal. Knocked down a pair of free throws earlier, and he's pulled Southern Utah to within 2. Lloyd on the pull-up, and again the offensive rebound. Give the Lumberjacks another chance. Jalen Cone jitterbugs into the lane and shows off the soft touch. He's got 7 points as the preseason All-Big Sky Conference nominee. NAU has led for most of this first half as Allen runs down Cone, no call, and an easy 2. And that's 5'11"-ish, working on 6'4".
No, and that's exactly what they want to do. They tried to do it first play of the game, and Allen ended up turning it over, but they want to make that a mismatch. They know it's a mismatch going against them, do the Thunderbirds, right? They know that Jalen Cone is essentially faster than everybody on the floor, but especially Drake Allen, where Drake Allen is so tall, they know they're going to take care of that mismatch like they're doing right here. Cone hits the curl around 3. So if the T-Birds can try and capitalize on the other end, posting up Drake Allen, that's what they're going to want to do.
He's already into double figures with 10 points. Jalen Cone has been scorching coming into this one, having averaged 26.5 points per over the last 2, and it was the biggest key to the game for SU head coach Todd Simon to try and slow him down, but that's easier said than done. Jones trying to answer. He pulls. And NAU a chance to surpass their largest lead of the game, which has been 6. Backdoor goes Fuller. The long arms of Jones force him into a fadeaway. And here comes Harrison Butler for Southern Utah. Good move down the lane, and he finishes.
Yeah, that's always going to be hard as a defender. You got to pick him up earlier than that. If he has a step on you inside the three-point line, you can expect him to finish that. So big and strong, but with such nice touch around the rim.
And so crafty, too.
Yeah.
Knows exactly what move to put on a defender to get around him as Lloyd misfires on a 3. Southern Utah can tie the game if they can knock down one of their own. Harrison Butler thought about it for a moment. Instead wants to attack, and it's poked away. Great defense from Maines, his second steal of the game. Tout right down the lane. He banks it home and pushes the lead back to 2 possessions at 35-30 in a fast-moving first half. And that will send us to the meet.
And I mentioned it earlier, but they're just getting really good looks. There are a lot of easy finishes at the basket. Obviously, Jalen Cone has done some tough shot making, but for the most part, they've been pretty decent looks, and both teams are capitalizing. I'd expect both coaches to really want to ramp up things on the defensive end, especially going into halftime.
NAU goes to a zone out of the break. Allen just hoists and hits the back of the iron. Good rebound in traffic from Trent McLaughlin. Here comes Jalen Cone, ever so crafty. And a foul up top called here against Drake Allen, defending Xavier Fuller. That's a 15th foul on Southern Utah and the second on the Snow College transfer, and that'll send Dang Dutt into the game. And you wonder if Todd Simon will have him come back in for the rest of the first half, or if Southern Utah is now without their starting point guard for the final 5:23 here in the first.
Yeah, got his second foul. He's had a big issue with foul trouble all year.
McLaughlin launches, and Butler, one of the all-time leading rebounders in Southern Utah men's basketball history, adds to his total. Jones, quick trigger, puts it in. Tevian Jones pulls Southern Utah to within 2 with under 5 to go here in the first half.
And they're going to need that. Jalen Cone is doing it for his guys. They need Tevian Jones to step up and knock down some big shots.
Jones has got 8. Cone has got 10 on the other side for NAU. Fuller wants to post up Harrison Butler, and the follow is right there for Keith Heyman. No box out, and that can't make the Southern Utah coaches too happy. Butler wants the screen from Spurgeon, goes the other way, and lays it up and in. Harrison Butler with an excellent game here this afternoon. He's 3 of 3 from the floor. He also has 8 points. And the hot shooting continues here inside the America First Event Center. McLaughlin tries from the corner this time. And Southern Utah can tie or take the lead. Jones for 3. Zeke Richards comes flying in for the rebound and hits the deck. Jalen Cone cut off by Dang Dutt. See the attention, number 15 draws. Still he finds room and cans a jumper. He's got 12 points. He's 5 of 6 from the floor. And it's not as if Southern Utah doesn't know that's where the ball is going. He's just a tough guy to stop.
He really is just so crafty. I mean, you mentioned it. He's got the ball on a string. He is so fast. His first step, his second step, he gets past you, and then he just keeps going past you.
Tevian Jones on the follow-away, hits nothing but net. He's into double figures with 10 to lead the way for Southern Utah.
And that's what I talked about. If Cone is going to be doing his thing, Jones needs to step up and do his thing. We're seeing a great battle right now.
Not a whole lot of movement on this possession for NAU. Shot clock is down to 5, and they turn it over. Here comes Southern Utah again, trying to level the score or pull in front. Butler gallops, scoops just a little too hard off the glass. Cone races. Both teams shooting over 50% in this first half. Defense has been a work in progress for Shane Burkar's team, who calls a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at both of the moves that these guys are putting on, and we're talking about defensive adjustments, but at some point, you know, the offense will reign supreme when you have shot makers like these two guys. It's just been unbelievable.
Cone has 12 points and the ball right now. Jones has 10 on the other side. Here he goes again. Tough floater, and he misses just his second attempt of the game. Martell Williams, kind of that guard forward position as he gets a chance for 2 free throws into the game off the bench. A player whose, NBA comparison would be probably Gary Payton II. Not a great shooter, can hit it every now and then, but really goes in there to be a smaller guy that plays down low. I mean, he is a 6'8" power forward's body and mind in the body of a 6'3" guard.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, honestly, performs his role well. You know, he gets a lot of defensive stops. He corrals a lot of rebounds. He can go bang, bang down low. I'm interested to see, you know, who they have him guarding down this stretch. But he's a guy that can switch on to Tout and push him out of the paint because he's just so big.
He hits 1 of 2 at the line. And it's a 1-point lead for the Lumberjacks, who have led for all but about 2 minutes of this first half. But neither team has led by more than 6. Tout spins. Good defense from Spurgeon, who jumps. And a late foul call here. It's against Mason Fawcett, not Jason Spurgeon. That's his second 6th team foul of the half. And Tout will go to the line for 2 shots. What do you think of that call?
I mean, that's a tough one. Feels like a bailout call. Feels like they should have called the first one. Tout had the first move and kind of got bumped by Spurgeon, and then they saw a little more contact from Mason on the second one, and they were like, well, if we're not going to call the first one, we have to call the second one. Which, I mean, honestly, I'm okay with, right? It's a little bit of a combination foul.
Well, they did just change the foul. It's on Spurgeon, not Fawcett.
Yeah.
So Fawcett with 1 foul and Spurgeon with 2.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah. Because it didn't look like Fawcett really had a hand anywhere near Tout's arm as he steps to the line and misses a pair. And the AFEC crowd rejoices as they get free cheese curds courtesy of Culver's with that second consecutive miss.
I believe that's the first time this season.
It is indeed.
Hey, how about that for percentages? Tout made a pair and then missed a pair.
Now 34%, you figured it was possible as Williams does put up a 3. Fawcett fights for the offensive rebound. Loose in the corner. Look at Mason Fawcett hustling. And somehow Jalen Cone, the smallest guy on the court, comes away with it. Maines wide open. A rainbow triple. Doesn't get the bounce. And a foul is called. Not sure who it's on just yet. It looks like it is on Fawcett, I believe. It'll be a 1-and-1. No, they get Tevian Jones for the foul. His first personal. And 1-and-1 coming here for Xavier Fuller, the South Dakota transfer. 74% this year, was 74% at the line last year. And it's 3 straight misses at the charity stripe for NAU. As a team, they shoot at 72% this year. They're 4 of 8 in the game. Southern Utah, another opportunity to go back in front, and Tevian Jones is fouled on the ground as the shot falls. But that's the 7th team foul on the Lumberjacks, so Tevian Jones will get a chance to shoot his first free throws of the game at 77% this season.
Yeah, and that's the right call. It was on the bump right before he turned into the shot. Both players going bang, bang down low.
Tevian Jones, who on Saturday in the win against Cal State Fullerton, 15 points, 4 boards, a steal, has had a steal in every game this season. And that has continued here today. He was just 3 of 10 from the field down in Las Vegas in the Jack Jones Hoop Fest, but much more efficient here today. He's now got 11 with a second shot coming and a chance to put Southern Utah back in front for the first time in 10.5 minutes of game time. And he does just that. Jack Wistersill, the freshman from Salt Lake City, comes in for the final 48 seconds of this first half. Jalen Cone and Oakland Fort out there. And it's the latter with the ball working on Butler up top. Here comes Cone. There he goes, and he scoops it in. Jalen Cone, great speed, arguably better athleticism in the jumping department. And he uses it exceptionally well as Todd Simon calls a timeout with his team.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't seem to bother him whatsoever, and his speed and athleticism are allowing him to find room. He's led the way for NAU that are still shooting the ball 50% from the floor. Southern Utah 52%. And they'll have a chance for the last shot here in this first half that will determine who carries the lead into the break. A matchup that over the last several years between coaches Simon and Burkar has seldom seen a team go over 80 points, both on track for that here in the first today. 5 to shoot. Dutt, Fawcett for 3. And it's NAU on top.
They want to pull away in this game.
NAU's got 2 players in double figures. Cone with 14, Tout with 10. Thunderbirds have won each of the last 4 meetings dating back to their time in the Big Sky, which concluded ahead of this 2022-23 sports season, and now the first non-conference meeting since 2003 between SUU and NAU begins here in half number 2. And Southern Utah a chance to go in front out of the break. Tevian Jones probes, glides, and draws a foul. It was a late whistle, but a correct one, and that's ultimately what matters the most.
I mean, you could tell he wanted to get all the way up and extend that right hand to the left side of the rim, and his right hand was held down near his waist. Clearly a little bit of contact there.
Second trip to the line today for Jones. Comes into this game the 3rd leading scorer in the WAC. He has been in double figures in each of Southern Utah's 12 games this season, including this one. Just continues to be one of the most prolific scorers game by game that the Thunderbirds have had in the last several seasons. We're all knotted up at 41 apiece. And no surprise to see Jalen Cone igniting the offense for NAU to begin the second half for 5th-year head coach Shane Burkar. Maines launches. How about that rebound from Harrison Butler? Jones down the lane with the left, and Southern Utah is back in front. NAU quickly the other way, but great transition defense here from Southern Utah. And defense certainly one of the focal points for both of these coaches in the locker room. Cone backdoor, and he hits again. Jalen Cone's got 16, and Parker, they're trying to deny him, but he is just too quick to stay in front of. Jones finds some room. That one too strong, and there is Jalen Cone with the rebound. Look at him disappear and then reemerge and scoop it in for 2. Jalen Cone has been in some kind of zone over the last 3 games. Last time out, 29 points. He had 24 in the game prior in the win at Pacific. Drake Allen goes right at him, and this is a blocking foul called against the NAU star point guard. That is his 2nd personal foul and the 2nd team foul of the half here against the Lumberjacks, and it sends Drake Allen to the free throw line. But Jalen Cone continues to be the storyline. 18 points on 8 of 10 shooting, Parker. He is just getting everywhere he wants to, and he's just too fast for this Southern Utah team that has a lot of length, but nobody as quick as him.
And we saw it, right? They gave him a hard double right out of the break, got the ball out of his hands, it swung to Maines. Maines missed. And then SU came down and got a layup, and then they were trying to deny him the ball there on the 2 possessions ago. He goes back door, knocks down a jumper, and then nobody picks him up in transition. He just, no matter what you do, it's wrong. He's so effective, so crafty. No matter what the defense does, he will make them wrong.
1 of 2 at the line for the Snow College transfer, Drake Allen, who now gets a chance to defend Jalen Cone, and it results in a turnover. Here comes Butler, elevates, and finger rolls it in for the lead. Lloyd goes right at Jones, tough shot, and it comes out to McLaughlin. Jones takes it away. Up he goes, and down he goes.
Team defense, quote unquote, or gang tackling like you have to do with a really impressive player in football.
Tackling him might not be a bad idea, because then he can't get a shot off.
Might be the only way to slow him down.
We'll see what Southern Utah comes up with out of the break. NAU down by 3. Maines posts up on Fawcett. Jones almost had those long arms for another steal. Lloyd pulls right in his face, and it popcorns out. Another empty trip for the Lumberjacks. Harrison Butler might have gotten away with a carry, and he's called for a travel anyway. Just picked up that pivot foot, so Southern Utah with their 6th turnover of the game. And Parker, neither team in the first half had more than 7 team fouls, and they have just 9, check that, 10 combined turnovers in this game. It's been a very clean affair on both sides.
Yeah. And again, especially offensively, which is what we're talking about, they need to ramp up the defense.
Spurgeon ramps it up a little too hard on Tout as he's called for his 3rd personal foul, and that will send in the redshirt freshman Parsifala, who did not play at all last year, the Iranian native playing his first season of college basketball. And with Spurgeon on the bench with 3 fouls and this much time left in the game, Parker, Todd Simon is going to rely heavily on a relatively inexperienced player.
And he's going to have to try and stay out of foul trouble as well.
Drake Allen, meanwhile, just picked up his 3rd personal foul. So right as we talk about how we haven't seen a lot of fouls and turnovers, we have 2 fouls in a matter of about 2 seconds of game time. And so Allen to the bench, and that brings in Dang Det, who is playing in just his 5th game of the season. Backdoor goes Cone. Dutt can't get to it, and Cone does it again. What can he do at this point?
And that one's out of an out-of-bounds set. I mean, that just can't happen.
Back to a 1-point game. Harrison Butler trying to create good defense from Lloyd. Fawcett, side pocket, off the mark. Mason Fawcett continues to struggle from distance. It's 1 of 6 today. Jalen Cone, now guarded by Tevian Jones, loses the ball, and Dutt has it. Turnover number 5 for NAU. Thunderbirds trying to add to a 1-point lead. Jones straight on, and he will go to the line for 3 shots.
Barely.
Tevian Jones has 3 shots at the free throw line upcoming, sitting on 17 points. But that is not a game high. Jalen Cone has got 20 on the other side. Those two have been at their very best here today in this Christmas game for Southern Utah. The women will play later tonight, 6:30 local time, taking on La Sierra. 2 of 3 for Jones, and it's a 3-point Southern Utah edge. They've won 4 straight against NAU, who have not won since early 2020 against the Thunderbirds. Parsifala whistled for the foul, and he picks up his 2nd. And he has to be careful because he's in the game right now because Jason Spurgeon is on the bench with 3 fouls.
Yeah, I mean, they really are going to have to go with potentially Martell Williams, slide Mason to the 5.
And Harrison Butler is whistled for a foul. If you don't think announcer jinxes are real, we were talking on the other side of the timeout.
Just going to say
about how few fouls we had seen in such a highly contested, hard-fought game. Ten on the shot clock. Maines, as Fawcett does a flyby, misses the jumper. Fuller the rebound. Goes right back up over Butler and somehow puts it in. Make it a 1-point game.
It's a tough finish inside. Another big offensive rebound.
Dang Dutt probes, pulls up, and can't quite put it in. NAU a chance to go back in front. Fort, off balance. Oakland Fort, a true freshman, puts it home. And the Lumberjacks lead by 1. And this just has all the makings of a fantastic finish. Cam Healy and Martell Williams come into the game along with D. Barnes for Todd Simon. Butler, Dutt, and Fawcett all go to the bench. Tevian Jones, the only starter on the court right now for the Thunderbirds. D. Barnes rejected by Maines and a foul. NAU can't believe it. They say he got him on the elbow, and that will send D. Barnes to the free throw line. And we mentioned a bit of a bailout foul at one point in the first half. That might have been another one. And it looked like from here that the ball was contacted first and then the elbow.
Yeah, and Maines is a terrific defender, but what I will say is when you're going against somebody that is athletic as Barnes is, it's hard when he elevates that high where you think the ball is and where his elbow is are you know, really up in the air. So even with Maines being such a good defender, Barnes just keeps rising, right? And even if he didn't necessarily mean to hit his elbow, thought he got ball, Barnes just keeps going up, and then you draw contact with the elbow. Barnes makes them both. So a costly foul there.
Those were Barnes' first free throw attempts since November 30th here at home against Montana State. He is 4 of 8 on the season, so not a guy who gets to the line a lot, but might be asked to do some inside scoring, with Fawcett having 2 fouls and Spurgeon having 2 fouls. Those are not just front court players important to Southern Utah from a length perspective, but they're big offensive pieces too. Fort, ball moves around, Fuller wide open, he drains a 3. Xavier Fuller, 32% from distance this year, gives us our 11th lead change of the game. Parsifal with the spin and the jam. All square at 54. 14 minutes to play here inside the America First Event Center. Ball on the deck. Barnes has got a steal. Here comes Tevian Jones. Wild pass, and he just needed to be a little more under control, as Todd Simon is telling him going back. He made the right read, Parker, but just the wrong form on the pass as Dang Dutt re-enters for Martell Williams.
Yeah, it was just kind of that overhead pass, wanted to scoop it to him. He makes that pass often. It just seemed like the ball bounced a little bit too high on him and never really had control as he tried to fling it over his head.
3 guards out there for NAU, and Xavier Fuller is one of them, and he puts the Lumberjacks ahead by a basket. Falla tries to slip it to Dutt. It's a giveaway. Up ahead, Fuller on the run, lays it in. 7th steal of the game for NAU, and Jalen Cone trying to lead his team at the defensive end here. Southern Utah trying to get it back to Tevian Jones. That's usually a good idea, and he shows you just why. He's got 21 a game high. Southern Utah a little disorganized defensively, and they're just barely able to recover. How about this matchup? Jalen Cone and Tevian Jones. Fort from distance. Southern Utah ball. Good box out there from Dang Dutt. Drake Allen returns and Dang Dutt goes to the bench.
I really don't hate that matchup defensively for the T-Birds. Clearly what you've been doing up to this point hasn't been working. Why not try something else? Try and use length to stop his speed, right? You know that Tevian Jones isn't going to match him as far as foot speed goes, but Tevian Jones is just so long. Potentially he can stay with Jalen Cone. Seen him cause a couple turnovers on Cone already, getting his long arms in there, making things difficult.
Foul here on the perimeter against Jack Wistersill, a true freshman, into the game. His first personal 5th team foul. So Southern Utah not in the bonus yet. They've committed 4 team fouls here in the second half themselves of the Thunderbirds. Butler has to get it in and finally does. Here goes Harrison Butler slashing, and he throws it down. A jackhammer. That starts to get a little bit of noise from the AFEC. Todd Simon wants them into it as we're tied at 58. Fort gallops. Doesn't get the roll, but he gets it back in the corner. Here he goes again, and a foul. 14 lead changes in this game, and currently we are tied at 58 apiece in the 34th all-time meeting between NAU and Southern Utah. And for the first time since 2003, they battle it out on the hardwood as non-conference foes. Spencer McLaughlin, Parker Haney with you on ESPN+. Oakland Fort has had an excellent game, supplementing what Jalen Cone has done to lead the way with 20 points. But he's got 8, and NAU has got the lead back by 2 with inside of 12 to go as they go to a 2-3 zone. Fala had some room, didn't want it, instead finds Barnes. 3-ball. Xavier Fuller has got 11 points as he gives off to Fort. And a foul is called here against D. Barnes. Todd Simon has his hands on his head. It is the senior's first personal, 6th team foul, so no bonus yet. And I think what Coach Simon was frustrated with right there, Parker, is that he felt Barnes was straight up and was not really crowding the space unnecessarily of Oakland Fort.
Yeah, I mean, he's entitled to that space, right? He's allowed to get up in him, especially when he's picked up his dribble already.
Speaking of picking up his dribble, Jalen Cone picks it up and swishes it through, and it's a 2-possession lead for the Lumberjacks. He is 10 of 12 from the floor, just absolutely automatic. Now Southern Utah has to figure out the zone look from the Lumberjacks and Coach Burkar.
Have to be aware of where shooters are anytime you're playing a zone.
Butler pulls back, launches a rainbow, and knocks it down. Coach Burkar trying to say that was a 2. They have it down for a 3, at least for the moment. Either way, it's a 1-possession game. Here goes Cone on Allen. He blocks the shot. Cone gets it back. Fuller runs a man down. Offensive foul drawn by D. Barnes. 7th turnover of the game for NAU. They have been rock solid protecting the ball this season, but they give it away there. And Southern Utah a chance to go back in front. And we won't know likely until the under-8 media timeout whether or not that shot from Harrison Butler was a 2 or a 3. They will almost certainly look at it.
Yeah, they'll have to. That was a pretty close call.
Southern Utah trying to figure out this 2-3 zone. Allen slashes, puts it in with a foul. Drake Allen to the line and a chance for an old-fashioned 3-point play. And that a much sharper looking possession offensively from Southern Utah when it comes to how they've been attacking this zone.
Yeah, and it's something that they had time to set up and know what they were coming into, right? They knew they were in a zone. They knew how they were going to rotate. Now the Thunderbirds have time to come down, set up, say, hey, this is how they're going to react when we do this. Much better possession. Slashing to the basket for Drake Allen.
How about that bounce for Drake Allen as it just missed going over the backboard? He'll take it, and Southern Utah leads by a pair. Boy, D. Barnes has had some excellent perimeter defense as Cone goes backdoor and ties us back up at 64 each.
So I'm talking about anything you do, it's going to be wrong. You're trying to deny him the basketball. He scores every time he touches it.
And Butler misses the layup. A foul is called here. And that is not a good sign as Liam Lloyd was crawling to get out of the way. I think he fell awkwardly or had some contact on his leg. And I think, Parker, he was instinctively trying to get out of there to avoid someone stepping on him on accident.
I think he may have gotten stepped on, actually. I think he fell on the challenge. When he challenged Butler, I believe he turned his ankle and then went down to the ground, and I believe Fala landed on him, actually.
It's a foul on Lloyd, who picks up his 4th personal, 8th team foul, so that sends the redshirt freshman Parsa Fala to the free throw line. He is 8 of 18 this season, and he sinks the first.
Boy, that three-pointer call is going to be a big one when they review it.
100%.
In such a tight game.
Fala makes 2 to put his team up by 2. Jason Spurgeon returns for the first time since the 17-minute mark with 3 fouls. And one thing we haven't seen from Southern Utah today that we've seen this season, Parker, is full court pressure after a made basket. They have been content to sit back, perhaps concerned about how quickly Jalen Cone can break down a full court press.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. When you have a guy like that who can beat a press just by running through it, it's hard to want to come out in a full court press.
Air ball from Fort, but Barnes tips it out to keep it with the Lumberjacks. Shot clock does not reset, so 10 to shoot for Shane Burkar and NAU.
I have long said that technical foul called on the NAU bench. Not sure if it's on the head coach or not.
And how crucial could that be coming down the stretch for a game in which neither team is led by more than 6? And Tevian Jones gets 2 free throws.
That one tried to miss the net.
But in a good way, of course.
Right,
not
right.
in an unfortunate way.
I have long said that air balls are the hardest shot to rebound.
Oh, 100%.
As we saw D. Barnes, I mentioned that because D. Barnes missed that rebound there, ended up going out of bounds. You're expecting it to hit something, and it does something completely different, obviously. So,
still awaiting final word on who the technical was called upon. The early indications were Coach Burkar, but we'll continue to keep you posted. Oakland Fort is rejected by D. Barnes at the Summit. How about the athleticism from the senior from Great Mills, Maryland? He puts up a 3, and that would have taken the roof off of this place for the fans in attendance here in Cedar City. Cone the other way. Fort pops free. And Jack Wistersill thought he was held, and the officials say that he was by Tevian Jones. That'll be Jones' 2nd personal and the 7th team foul. So Jack Wistersill to the free throw line. He has attempted just 2 shots at the charity stripe over the last 5 games and knocked down both on December 3rd in the loss at Pepperdine. Trent McLaughlin comes back in for Oakland Fort, who heads to the bench. And every point, every basket just feels so big, even with 8:39 to go, Parker, with the way that this game has been played and the way it's setting up down the stretch.
feels like a game that's destined for overtime.
Jack makes the pair, and Jack Wistersill has got his dad, Tom, in attendance, commissioner of the Big Sky Conference. Spurgeon barreling inside. Look at the spin and the takeaway by Maines. Cone the other way. He's fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2 with a chance to tie the game. That is the 8th steal of the game for NAU. They average just 6 per contest on the season, but they have been really active poking the ball free from Southern Utah ball handlers as they go into the paint.
It's a good job of turning those turnovers into points, or at least opportunities for points, as we see Cone go to the line for some free throws. But it's one thing to get a turnover and then set up in a half-court offense. It's another thing to get a turnover and immediately turn it into a break.
Cone, an 82% foul shooter, misses the first as Drake Allen goes out, having picked up his 4th foul, and Dang Dutt returns. A first-year Thunderbird and one-time member of the Wyoming Cowboys will orchestrate the offense for Todd Simon down the stretch as they look for consecutive win number 5 against NAU, and Jalen Cone, of all people, misses a pair. Tevian Jones slips it to Spurgeon, puts it in, and 1. Carson Tout commits the foul, and the Australian will have a chance for a 3-point possession.
What a play by Tevian Jones. Been doing it all for the Thunderbirds, scoring the basketball. That time, realizes that he's going to get double teamed. The double comes. He gets it to Spurgeon early. Spurgeon does a nice job absorbing the contact, switching to his left hand, finishing with the foul, and then making the free throw afterwards.
Largest lead of the game for Southern Utah is the score you are looking at, 71-66. Next stoppage likely to take us to the media timeout. NAU looking for momentum before that happens. Here goes Cone, this time off the mark. Good defense from Dang Dutt. Butler back to Spurgeon again. That looked like it went off the leg of Jack Wistersill. Center Spencer McLaughlin, Parker Haney with you. Southern Utah up by 5, and Jalen Cone has led the way for the Lumberjacks. He's got the ball in his hands right now with a game-high 24 points, but notably quiet in the second half, Parker. Carson Tout, who had a really nice first half.
Yeah, especially getting the Southern Utah bigs in foul trouble, but Tout seems like he hasn't even touched the ball here in this second half. Had 10 points in the first. Still has 10.
Tevian Jones glides and can't hit the right spot on the backboard. So Jones and Cone exchange misses. Both have been exceptional. Here goes Jack Wistersill in the post. Harrison Butler the board. Butler, a Euro, loses it out of bounds. It stays with Southern Utah. Thunderbirds with Jones, Barnes, Spurgeon, Butler, and Dutt. The 5 for Todd Simon in year 7 at the helm, over 100 career victories as the head man here in Cedar City. Dang Dutt runs a man down, and they call an offensive foul. Todd Simon cannot believe it. He wants a flop warning instead. It is the 11th turnover of the game for the Thunderbirds. 9th team foul on Southern Utah as well. So from here on out, both teams are in the double bonus for the final 7 minutes and change. Thunderbirds captured both meetings a year ago, 78-66 here on this court. Then they went down to Flagstaff and handed NAU a forgettable game for the Lumberjacks. 79-48 was the final. The offense much better here for NAU on the road in Cedar City. This guy a big reason why. He elevates and he knocks down a 3. Jalen Cone with his second triple. He's got 27.
That one big time. 2 defenders right in his face. Elevates, knocks it down. Big time player making a big time shot.
Tevian Jones has the ball, tries to answer, and McLaughlin rips it away. Lumberjacks can tie or take the lead. Wistersill left alone. And Jones saves it for the Southern Utah team rebound. Spurgeon, quick move, poked away again, and a foul is called here. Carson Tout can't believe it, I think. I don't know if that was a facetious get up, and it was pretty clearly a foul.
Yeah. And it's only a foul because Spurgeon's able to turn his body all the way around, and then Tout's still holding onto the ball / arm. So as soon as Spurgeon makes that turn, you're going to get the whistle.
So Spurgeon, who's got just 5 points and 2 rebounds, both well under his season averages this year. Sophomore, originally from Toowoomba, Australia, is a perfect 4 of 4 at the free throw line here this afternoon. He is playing with 3 fouls, but has been able to avoid picking up a 4th in the last 7 or so minutes of action. He makes a pair to push it back to a 4-point lead.
Wouldn't be surprised if they tried to go inside or get Tout involved somehow.
There is Tout, who's not a 3-point shooter, and he's kind of the point forward on the offense, and he loses the handle to disrupt the sequence. Cone says, fine, I'll do it myself. Jalen Cone cannot be stopped. He's got 30. Second 30-point game of the season for the Virginia Tech transfer. Jones to answer. And NAU, again a chance to pull level or go ahead.
I think we know who's going to shoot it.
15 in blue, looking for room, finds a little. Oh, you can't believe what Jalen Cone is doing, and NAU's got the lead. The man cannot be stopped. Butler, Spurgeon, blocked, gets it back and flushes. And that is NAU basketball. Harrison Butler disagrees, but a stern talking to from one of the officials to tell him that he was the last to knock it out of bounds. Martell Williams in, D. Barnes out. Check that dang Dutt to the bench. Oh, and D. Barnes, as Mason Fawcett has returned as well. And Southern Utah doing everything they can to make life difficult for Jalen Cone. He's got 32. He's 14 of 19 from the floor. Just absolutely lethal. McLaughlin, side pocket, knocks it down. Trent McLaughlin from distance, and the Lumberjacks up a pair. Butler thinks about it, puts it on the deck, and draws a foul.
It's impressive that the Thunderbirds aren't getting out of their game, right? You see NAU now with 3 straight threes, 2 by Jalen Cone, that one by McLaughlin, but they're not getting out of their game trying to match them 3 for 3 necessarily. They're okay getting to the rim, drawing free throws, getting offensive rebounds, getting things inside the paint. It's what they've been doing all game. They're continuing to do it even with this barrage of threes going down by the Lumberjacks.
Harrison Butler with a quiet 16 points in this game. 9 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and a block as well in 32 minutes. A very Harrison Butler-like performance once again. And he ties the game. It's all 7s on the scoreboard with 4:24 to play. And now the question becomes for Southern Utah again, how do you stop Jalen Cone? For NAU, the question is, how do you get him the ball and just find him space with all the attention he's attracting?
Yeah, and you can't have Drake Allen guarding him. Allen playing with 4 fouls. Butler picking him up now.
They double him off the screen. Butler knocks it free, and this is a foul, I believe, on Jalen Cone. He doesn't like the call, but it's putting Harrison Butler on the free throw line, who's starting to get the bench and the crowd fired up. And that's a guy in Harrison Butler who takes a tremendous amount of pride in his defense. And when you see a guy going off like this, you can get to one of those moments where you're fired up after making a play like that.
No, absolutely. You cause the turnover and get a foul against him. Now 3 on Cone. It's a big-time defensive play by Harrison Butler.
Butler puts Southern Utah back in the lead for the moment. That is the 19th lead change of the game. We've had 9 ties. And still neither side is led by more than 6 from the jump. And that was back at the 17-minute mark of the first half when NAU was up 9-3. Just a phenomenal game as the Lumberjacks are looking to knock off the Thunderbirds for the first time since early 2020. Butler misses Spurgeon the offensive board. Butler steps back. Can't connect on the 3. Foul called against Jack Wistersill. Will put Mason Fawcett on the line. And those are 2 guys, Butler and Fawcett, who have been staples of this Southern Utah basketball program. And you talk about leaving it all on the court every single game. They are showing you just that here this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that they're both in the top 10 in rebounding in SU's history. I mean, is there a more perfect stat for what Harrison Butler and Mason Fawcett do than just get rebounds, especially on the offensive end, as we saw there from Mason Fawcett.
Sinks a pair to put Southern Utah up 3. 2 guys trying to stop Jalen Cone from getting the basketball 90 feet away from the hoop.
That is the kind of heater that he's on.
Looking for room. Jones just rips it away. Cone wanted a foul, did not get it. Here comes Tevian Jones. Probing, fading, can't bank it in. Tout the board.
I don't hate that shot by Jones. You just wish that it came later in the shot clock.
McLaughlin hit a 3 a few moments ago. He feeds Tout, dives to the lane. He's rejected by Spurgeon. Here comes Drake Allen. Right down the lane, scoops it up and in. And Fuller. So they have made an alteration to a previous shot. They initially ruled a Jalen Cone 3 a 2. It was a 3, and so because of that and that bucket there from Oakland Fort, it is 82-80. Butler, big size mismatch here, throws it down right on the rim. Good help defense from Maines. Here come the Lumberjacks in transition. Maines the other way, finds room and ties the game. 82 apiece. So the Lumberjacks get a point on the scoring adjustment and back-to-back buckets. Fawcett. Blocking foul is called against Xavier Fuller. Check that, Oakland Fort, the guard who took the charge. Looked like his heels were right on that half circle of the restricted area, or else that could have been a charge. Instead, Mason Fawcett, who is 2 of 2 at the line in this game and 74% on the season, gets 2 shots.
And just like that, a flurry of scoring by the T-Birds leads to an NAU timeout. They end up getting a point during the timeout, and then they come back and get 2 quick buckets. And we're tied up again. Mason Fawcett goes 2 of 2 from the line to make it a 2-point game, but that's exactly what this game has been. Neither team able to pull away.
Boy, have they packed some drama into this one. The intensity has been there from the jump on both sides. Maines for the lead. Spurgeon the rebound. And the offense very much running through Harrison Butler right now for Southern Utah. He's got a big height mismatch here on Fort. He gets to his left hand, score it plus a foul. That is 5'10", trying to guard 6'5", and a methodical back down there from the Thunderbird senior.
Well, it's a really smart action by the T-Birds as well. You clear everything out, right? You give Harrison Butler full court vision, put everything on that side, and then he can see everything. So he sees the double team come and spins back to the baseline, knowing that there's not going to be a defender there because he can see everything in front of him. Really smart play design.
And after 5 straight points by the Lumberjacks, the Thunderbirds respond with 5 consecutively of their own. Approaching 2 minutes to play. Jalen Cone hasn't touched the ball in the last couple of possessions. Fuller does. He knocks it down, and he'll have a chance for an old school 3-point play.
The shot making.
Just
Spencer,
spectacular.
the shot making.
Just spectacular all game long.
There's not a lot more you can do on defense right there. Obviously, Tevian Jones even ended up fouling him, and it still goes down. I mean, these teams are just playing unbelievable basketball right now.
Xavier Fuller has a baker's dozen on 6 of 11 shooting. He's missed his only free throw attempt of the ball game.
Fuller in there playing with 4 fouls as well.
And he has 3 of his last 7 at the free throw line over the last 3 games, including this one. As Brad Ferry, Jimmy Cassis, and Riel Benaria are referees, making sure everything is correctly situated. It's a 2-point game. Butler muscles inside, and this is a jump ball. Todd Simon does not agree with the call. The possession arrow favors NAU. And the Lumberjacks will have a chance to tie or take the lead with 1:51 to play.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's really solid defense, and it's really all you can do when you're defending a bigger guy like Harrison Butler is try and palm the basketball before he goes up top with it.
It looked like he had mostly ball.
Yep.
I agree. I thought that was the right call.
Yep, we had a pretty clear line of sight to it.
10 on the shot clock for the true freshman Oakland Fort. Off a screen from Maines. Wheels around, tries to get around Spurgeon. And 5'11" trying to throw over the 6'11" arms of the Australian native. Goes the way of the Thunderbirds. Turnover number 10 for the Lumberjacks. Approaching a minute to go. Allen is fouled. I believe it was before the shot he missed anyway. 2 shots as both teams are in the double bonus. So Drake Allen, who's just a 54.5% free throw shooter this season, is 2 of 3 at the line here this afternoon.
These are big free throws.
All nylon on the first. Allen has got 16. Butler's got 21. Tevian Jones, who we haven't heard from in quite a while offensively, Parker, still leads the way for Southern Utah with 23. He's out there with Spurgeon, Fawcett, Butler, and Allen, the starting 5 for head coach Todd Simon. Clutch free throws from the Snow College transfer to make it a 4-point game. Maines has to get it in and just barely does.
The same goes for Cone. He's been at 33 for the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Trying to change that. He gets it back. He launches again. He cannot miss. November 30th here at home to a former Big Sky opponent in Montana State in what was a close game down to the end. 86-83 the final. NAU trying to avoid dropping 2 consecutive games as they bring some full court pressure. And Drake Allen will bring it up. Still seemingly an eternity remaining here in Cedar City. Butler, quick move, and he's fouled by Trent McLaughlin, and that's what you didn't want to do if you're NAU. McLaughlin didn't like the call, but no real complaints from Coach Burkar, and it's been a consistent call all game long, Parker. If you put your hands outstretched in any way, shape, or form on the offensive player, it's been a foul all game.
Yeah, that one was tough too because he got a little bit of jersey. So even if there wasn't contact, you saw the jersey grab. Any official can see you grabbing the jersey. And honestly, I don't know if I hate the foul there. It seemed like Harrison Butler had a little bit of room past him, so it seemed like he was going to be either a layup or you put him at the free throw line and he goes 1 of 2.
15-second difference, shot clock and game clock. NAU can tie or take the lead. Maines left alone. Jones can't corral the rebound. It looked like Butler might have accidentally knocked it out of his hands. Nick Maines, who is a 41% three-point shooter this season, got a great look and barely missed. And it's a fresh 20 for the Lumberjacks. Jalen Cone, the inbounder, tries to get it back, and a foul called against Harrison Butler. He won't complain on that one. Third personal, both teams in the double bonus. And so Carson Tout, a 34.5% free throw shooter this year.
I absolutely love that foul. I don't think it was intentional by any means, but you take the ball completely out of Jalen Cone's hands. Don't risk a 3 going up and then taking the lead. Put a 34% free throw shooter at the line. I will take that any day of the week.
He made his first 2 in the game. He missed his next 2.
Got a rebound.
It is 2 shots, and that one not close. Fans here inside the AFEC making as much noise as they can. The shot clock has been turned off. Misses them both. Fawcett the board. And Harrison Butler is fouled.
Who else besides Fawcett to come down with that rebound? That's another tough thing if you're NAU with that foul. You don't mind going to the free throw line, but you would love to have Carson Tout in there to potentially get an offensive rebound. He's so good on the offensive glass, but he was the one shooting the free throws.
2 shots for Harrison Butler, who went 1 of 2 a moment ago, is 7 of 9 at the charity stripe in the game. No home roll for the 5th-year senior.
You still have to be aware of where the other guys are on the court, but I would be surprised if Jalen Cone didn't shoot this one.
Todd Simon wants noise from the home fans, many of whom rise to their feet. 20 seconds to play. Here's Jalen Cone with a game-high 36. Cone wants it back, works on Butler with 10. He drives, and he takes a 2. 1-point game. Southern Utah now has to inbound. And a foul before it comes in against Jack Wistersill. Tevian Jones is down. Looked like he just caught a Charlie horse there from the true freshman.
Yeah, Wistersill tried to step over to prevent him from flashing to the ball, and I mean, he need him in the quad area. That's going to be a foul every time.
And it doesn't feel great either. And with 7.6 on the clock, what do you make of Jalen Cone opting to take the 2?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go 2 there, you want it to be a quicker one, right? You want it to be something within 5-10 seconds. A lot of time ran off. I believe 20 seconds almost ran off of the clock there. So you want it to be something quicker, but overall, I'm okay with it right now. Even if Jones makes both, you're still in a 3-point game. You still have a chance to knock down that 3 to tie. I'm okay with the 2 there. I think they wanted 3 and then ended up going with 2, so you'd rather have a quick one, but.
And that a huge miss, as NAU will not be required to go for a 3. Jones 7 of 10 at the line. Pressure free throws here. Makes 1 of 2. No timeouts left for NAU. Here comes Jalen Cone. Drives inside. He puts it in with long ways, or we will be playing free basketball here inside the AFEC. 92 apiece, 2 seconds to go. And here we go. Fawcett gets it in. 3/4 court heave off the mark. We're going to overtime.
Feels like a change is coming.
Wins the opening tip in overtime. And the man who got us here, Jalen Cone, with a career-high 40 points, starts the offense for the Lumberjacks as they attempt to snap a 4-game skid to their old Big Sky rival in Southern Utah. Maines into the lane, and he puts NAU in front by a deuce.
A little bit of what I talked about at the end of regulation, but, you know, going to Maines on the inside, I think they want to try and, you know, let other scorers score as much as they can so that Cone becomes available later.
Great feed from Allen as Spurgeon flushes for 2. And it's 94 apiece. Most points allowed in a game for NAU this season. Likewise for Southern Utah. Has been a shootout really from the jump. Both teams have been at or above 50% the majority of this game. They both stand there at this point in time. Great defense from Fawcett, but they call him for a foul. Looked like he might have gotten the arm of Nick Maines as he went for the turnaround, and so that will put the 6th-year redshirt senior to the line, where he is 12 of 13 coming into this game and has not yet been to the free throw line. The Lumberjacks 10 of 18 at the charity stripe in this game. Southern Utah a season high of 34 makes on a season high 42 attempts. But here we are in overtime. Not very often in college basketball. Both teams eclipse the century mark. Both on track to do that here. Tevian Jones has been quiet down the stretch. Drake Allen weaves, and he is fouled by Carson Tout. That will be 2 shots. Allen, who made 2 big free throws in regulation, is 4 of 5 at the line in the game. He has not made more than 4 free throws in a game yet this season until now. Snow College transfer, averaged 13 points and 6 assists. To go with a couple of steals a year ago. Now he comes down to Southern Utah and again leads the team in assists, but he splits a pair to keep the Thunderbirds down by 1 here at home. Their only loss back on November 30th against Montana State. That one didn't go to overtime, but very nearly did. Jalen Cone gives it off to Wistersill. 5 to shoot. Jones takes it away. Tevian Jones stumbles and he couldn't regain his balance. Cone pulling up, feeling it. Oh, yeah. Jalen Cone has got 43 points. He's made 6 triples. He's 18 of 24 from the field. Truly ridiculous stuff. And how does Southern Utah respond? Now trailing by 4. Drake Allen, tough shot. Spurgeon can't get the tip. Southern Utah staying patient with some feisty hands on the interior defense for NAU. Allen, the crossover, gets it to go. Big bucket there for Drake Allen. He's got 20, a new season high here in his first season with the Thunderbirds, who trail by 2. Who else would have it but Jalen Cone? He's got the switch on Fawcett, who fouls him on the drive. And Mason Fawcett at 6'6", just not quick enough to stay with Jalen Cone. Few guys are, but that's a really tough matchup for the Thunderbirds power forward, who picks up his 3rd personal foul.
Well, I, again, don't hate it. The only time he's missed tonight has been from the free throw line, really. 1 of 3 from the stripe.
Which is uncharacteristic for a guy who this year is 82%.
Barely gets that one to drop.
It's the first time since 2000 that an NAU player has scored 40 or more points. That was Corey Schwab at Cal Poly, who put up 43. Jalen Cone has got 45. Tevian Jones is fouled by Xavier Fuller, and he'll go to the line for 3 shots. And that's 5 on Xavier Fuller, who's got 14 points in this game, and he now becomes the second Lumberjack to foul out. And the second starter to foul out of this game. And Todd Simon's having a discussion with one of the officials now. It will be 3 shots as NAU again takes the opportunity to have a quick huddle.
You know, that's not unusual for the defender that is guarding Tevian Jones to foul in that situation. It's such an unusual shot. He keeps the ball on the right side of his body, but he almost releases from the left side of his head. And so if your hand is anywhere near, you're going to swipe one of his arms. A little bit of what we saw there. It's a foul that could have gone either way, but I feel like it's been pretty consistent throughout the night. They've been calling that on the jump shot. Jalen Cone had one very early. It was a similar call.
Tevian Jones on the board for the first time here in overtime, but they ruled the foul, or they did rule it that it would be 3 shots. I think that's what the discussion was about, was whether or not it came before the shot went up. But he gets 3 chances. And he sinks all 3. 26 for Jones, seemingly inconsequential to Jalen Cone's program record 45 points. And that man who is having a record-setting performance has got the ball with 10 on the shot clock. Mains to set the screen, goes the other way, throws it in the corner, Fort for 3. Wistersill, a big offensive rebound. Cone weaves, and Southern Utah has to defend again. Lumberjacks +5 on the glass in this game, inside of a minute to go. Jalen Cone blocked by Butler, out of bounds, and it's Lumberjack ball with 2 on the timer.
They've scored on a baseline out of bounds 3 or 4 times tonight. Had wide open layups. NAU looking for another one of those beautiful draw-ups.
Fort to inbound. Mains has to put it up. Side of the backboard, it's a shot clock violation, and Southern Utah will have a chance to retake the lead.
Really big defensive possession there by the T-Birds, having to do it twice. They got an offensive rebound. T-Birds play strong defense again.
Drake Allen has some room, lays it in. Southern Utah leads. Crowd here at the AFEC making some noise in the Thunderbirds Christmas game. Fort checked by Allen. Timeout, Shane Burkar and NAU.
Length with Harrison Butler. You saw that shot blocked at the end of the shot clock there on their last possession. That was big time, and that switch defensively has been big time.
Crowd rising to their feet, making some noise, looking for a stop. Cone on Butler. McLaughlin sets the screen. Cone pulls up. He's turned back again by Harrison Butler. Tevian Jones is fouled, and Harrison Butler with, at the moment, the defensive play of the game in an offensive shootout.
I don't want to toot my own horn, Spencer, but I may or may not have just complimented the job that Harrison Butler has done on Jalen Cone. Again, I understand he has 45 points, but 2 big stops for Harrison Butler.
And 2 big free throws here for Tevian Jones, who has now sunk 12 shots at the line, a career high on 15 attempts, about to be 16. No timeouts left for Shane Burkar and NAU. They trail by 3. D. Barnes in, Jason Spurgeon out. So they substitute size for athleticism. See if that comes into play on an offensive rebounding situation.
I was just going to say, you have to come down with a defensive rebound here.
Fort brings it up, spins on Allen, goes inside, loses it out. Allen hit it last. It's
that review.
But you understand they've got to be able to get it right.
Yep.
Jalen Cone is the inbounder. Fort has a 3. He's in the game. Maines is a 41% three-point shooter. They get it back to Cone. Runs into Barnes. Wistersill for the tie. No! Tevian Jones snatches the rebound. And the Thunderbirds lead with 5.5 seconds to go. And Jones probably needs to make just one on a night where he's poured in 13 points at the free throw line. Jack Wistersill before that shot was 7 of 16 from the three-point line this season. And with all the attention going to Jalen Cone, he got a clean look, and you can't get a much better one, frankly, in that situation.
Yep, in the corner as well, a little bit of a shorter shot, a wide open look. I understand the moment that it's in, the true freshman trying to make that shot, but that's a big miss.
Would have been the biggest shot of his career. Instead, Tevian Jones with the biggest free throws of the season for Southern Utah as they look to make it 4 consecutive wins. Just one will likely ice it, and he's got it. A season high 30 points for Tevian Jones. And the 3rd leading scorer in the WAC this year comes through in a big way to likely ice the game. Here comes Cone, 3 seconds, pulls up, and Southern Utah wins one of the greatest college basketball games.